Sherman is a Democrat from California on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and Congressman joins us live now. Congressman, great to have you with us on this very busy day. I know you released a statement prior to Secretary Kerry's speech saying that you were disappointed by the passage of the UN Security Council resolution. I'm curious to get your thoughts today on this speech. What is your response to it? How do you think that speech played out?
Well, this is not unprecedented. During the Reagan and Carter administrations, you had similar resolutions pass at the United Nations, and the U.S. failed to veto them. That being said, I think that there's an inordinate focus on Israeli settlements as if they're the barrier to peace. There was a 10-month moratorium on settlements in which peace was not reached. The real barrier to peace is that the Palestinian side does not accept the idea of a two-state solution in which Israel will be a Jewish state. You have Hamas that very loudly says that it wants the ethnic cleansing of all Jews from the Middle East or genocide. They're equally open to both. And then you have the Palestinian Authority using this phrase, right of return, to cover up the fact that they have a very similar position to Hamas. So you can spend a lot of time criticizing this apartment building or that apartment building being built, but the real barrier to peace is the fact that the Palestinian leadership have not gone to their people and said if there's going to be a two-state solution, one of those states will be a Jewish state.
Congressman, if I may ask you about that, though, in particular, which is there are parties within Israel that also don't recognize a two-state solution. Isn't that correct?
There are, look, it's a democratic society. I'm sure there are parties in Israel that believe that we have a flat earth. Everybody can speak their views. But the government's position is a two-state solution. And it's unfortunate to see President-elect Trump appoint an ambassador who apparently also does not believe in a two-state solution.
But
that is a huge mistake.
But, Congressman, by that logic, could you not also say that the PLO, or the Palestinian Authority that is involved in the negotiations with Israel, despite what Hamas thinks, they are the representatives of the Palestinian people. They believe in a two-state solution. They've acknowledged Israel's right to exist. They've acknowledged and accepted the UN Security Council resolutions that have established Israel in 181 that says a Jewish homeland. Why is that not sufficient?
Because they also believe in a, quote, right of return, which is the supposed right of any Arabic-speaking person who claims, because there are no records, that any of their ancestors ever lived in Israel has the right to move there and vote for the expulsion of all the Jewish residents of Israel. So the PA position is well disguised. They may have even fooled a lot of Americans who follow this issue. But the fact is that the PA position is two states as long as they're both Arab states. When the PA comes forward and says there will be two states and the right of return means Palestinians can move to the Palestinian state, then we'll see that they believe in a two-state solution. Until then, they seem to believe in a two-state solution only if an unlimited number of people, none with any documents or records, gets to move to Israel and vote immediately.
And Congressman, and let me ask you then about the core issue that was raised by Secretary of State John Kerry today, the issue of settlements. We've seen subsequent or successive American administrations, both Republicans and Democrats, as you've cited, who've tried to rein in Israel's settlement construction on the West Bank and East Jerusalem, but none have been successful in preventing that. Do you believe that there is a fundamental problem here in the inability for the American government to leverage its close relationship with Israel to stop what American administrations have felt are an obstacle?
The way to deal with the settlement issue is to have a negotiated peace. That could be done if they started negotiations now on an unconditional basis, or it could be done in a deal in which the Palestinian Authority agrees that the, quote, right of return allows people to move to a new Palestinian state, but is not a well-covered effort to destroy the state of Israel. If that were to happen, then I think you would also have a moratorium on settlements. But the focus that constant attempts to kill as many Israeli civilians as possible should be mentioned in just a sentence or two. but that building an apartment building in the wrong place, that's the real problem. I think that is a false equivalency, not even equivalency, a false emphasis. So yes, Israel has dismantled settlements in the Sinai. Israel has dismantled settlements in Gaza, and Israel, in any compromise solution, would have to dismantle some settlements in the West Bank. But we have to start the negotiations with both sides taking a reasonable position, or both sides deciding to negotiate without any precondition at all. The position of the Palestinian Authority is we want an unlimited, quote, right of return for any Arabic-speaking person, because nobody has any records, to move to Israel, and we want the Israelis to stop any building, and then we'll open discussions. That's an unreasonable position.
Congressman, great to have you with us. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.